Shall we talk about something else? Ghana's high food inflation rate has made the preparation of jollof for a household of 5 a headache. The dish is struggling to find a place on the dining table these days, as an average house of 5 requires at least 250 Ghana cedis to make the meal. This is contained in the SBM Intelligence Jollof Index report for the first quarter of 2023. Joining us on Zoom now is Kelechukwu Ogu with SBM Intelligence, who worked on this research. Kelechukwu, thank you for your time with us. Of course, you and your team have been looking at this index, the Jollof Index, which is quite indicative of issues around inflation and standard of living and disposable income. So it's clear that, with such a meal, which is so popular among families and individuals, which is available in almost every eatery, this is a very, very good index for determining exactly how affordable food is becoming. So tell us, what exactly went into the computation of this index? If you could unmute your microphone for us so we could hear you, Kelechukwu.
Hi.
There you go. We can hear you clearly now. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so we looked at two countries, Nigeria and Ghana. For Ghana, we looked at Accra and Kumasi. So we looked at two cities, Accra and Kumasi. We're just doing this in Ghana for the first time, and we looked at what it will cost, like you said, to prepare a pot of jollof rice for a family of 5. We looked at seasoning, we looked at rice, we looked at onions, we looked at pepper, we looked at tomatoes, and salt. And so what we arrived at is that it will cost on an average $24.14 or 280, around 280, 281 cedis for a family of 5 in Ghana to prepare a pot of jollof rice. And because Accra is an urban area, it showed that it's more expensive in Accra to prepare a pot of jollof rice than it is in Kumasi. I think the highest price we found was 294.5 cedis on average in Accra for February. It was 286 in March, but like I said, the average was about 281.10 cedis for March in both cities.
So, did you find a significant difference between Ghana and Nigeria when it comes to the cost of preparing jollof for a family of 5?
The difference is not so much. For Nigeria, it's a bit more expensive in Nigeria. So for January, it was $24.10 and we use dollars just for uniformity of prices.
Yeah.
So in Nigeria, in January, it was $24.10 dollars. It was $23.94 dollars in Ghana. In February, astronomically increased for Ghana to 24.68, while for Nigeria, it came down. Ghana, it was more expensive for Ghana in February. And then this last month, which is March, it was $24.14 in Ghana, and in Nigeria, I think it was 24.23. So if you look at that, it's only in February that it was more expensive to prepare a pot of jollof rice in Ghana than it was in Nigeria. But if you decided that you were not going to prepare it, at home and you wanted to go to a fast food joint to get it, it would have been more expensive to do that in Ghana than it would have been to do that in Nigeria.
Clearly, yeah. Now, humans always adapt. So when things become expensive, we find alternatives. What alternatives are people exploring since the price seems to be going up for all the ingredients needed?
So in Ghana, jollof rice is no longer a staple. It's mean like it's no longer something that you can prepare on a daily basis. Um, so people are looking for more carbohydrate or like less balanced meals than jollof rice that has like a lot of things in it. So people are looking at things like banku, or people are looking at things like fufu, and people are preparing jollof rice on only special occasions. And sometimes when they even do prepare jollof rice, they take out beef, they take out chicken, and they rather go for eggs. And so that's how people are adapting to the high cost in Ghana.
This is some fascinating stuff. I've got to say a big thank you to you, Kelechukwu Ogu, with SBM Intelligence. Now, our very own Kofi obviously has been keeping an eye on numbers. And you have some insights into this study. First of all, I mean, let's talk about, because this is a great index for households and the affordability of food. So for the first quarter, let's look at how households have been handling the changing costs here.
Well, it's interesting that in Ghana, if you want to prepare jollof for a family of 5, you need at least 250 Ghana cedis. You know, we're talking about this in the newsroom, and then people were like, you know, you need at least 300 cedis. And if you really, really want to prepare that, you know, that sort of jollof, not the other one, but the bougie jollof.
The proper one.
Exactly, the proper one. You need around 400 or 500 cedis to prepare for a family of 5. It is interesting, if you look at our food inflation data, for instance, it's been coming down right from January 2020. Yeah. And this seems to be in line with the Jollof Index that has been released by SBM Intelligence. Although food inflation is still very high, around 50%, you can see that because of the consecutive decline in the food inflation, jollof was expensive in February. In February, I think you needed at least 290 cedis to prepare a pot of jollof for a family of 5. Now in March, it has actually reduced significantly from I think 290 to now 250. At least you need 250 to prepare. It's also interesting that they had to interview some housewives and wives, ask them about how they are adapting, and Kelechukwu said it that, you know, now jollof is no longer becoming that dish you can easily prepare and put on at the dining table for people to consume. Now you need to prepare them during special occasions. And this is interesting because of high food prices. If you want to really prepare that sort of jollof you need to buy so many things. We're doing some of the calculations. If you're buying oil, you're buying so many things. You need, you know, meat. You need so many things. Before you can put together that kind of jollof rice you need. So, interestingly, people are now opting for, you know, banku or ampesi or beans. Even beans is becoming expensive now. You can't actually also use fufu as an alternative because it's equally expensive. Yeah. So it's interesting how housewives and, you know, our mothers and people are, you know, actually going around this whole Jollof Index. It's a very interesting index. Yeah. I'm hoping to see how it will pan out maybe in the second quarter of the year.
Yeah. But I like the way it seems to be following the same trend as food inflation.
Yeah.
So it means there is some real credibility to this index.
Absolutely.
Now, the part that is of interest to me, the Ghana versus Niger part of this thing. So you've been looking at some comparative figures, right? What are you seeing?
So just like Kelechukwu said, if you are not preparing the jollof and you want to go out and buy, they actually sampled and, you know, some of the prices from fast food joints that you can find in Ghana and also find in Nigeria.
Right.
And obviously, because we use different currencies, the baseline currency has to be dollar. So in Ghana or in Nigeria, if you want just jollof rice without anything, chicken or whatever, you need at least $1.29.
Okay.
In Ghana, you need 1.6. So it's expensive in Ghana than in Nigeria if you just want jollof rice.
Right.
Now, if you want jollof rice with a piece of grilled chicken, Nigeria, you need $1.94. In Ghana, you need $4 and some few cents. Yes.
As soon as the chicken comes in,
Exactly. It's about 4 times expensive in Ghana than it is in Nigeria.
Whoa.
Probably because of our exchange rate situation where
And of course, almost all
CDS
chicken is important.
Exactly. And then if you also want maybe jollof with grilled chicken and drink, in Nigeria you need $2.91, but in Ghana you need 4 cedis 30 cents. So
$4.
If you compare the prices in terms of dollars, if you want to buy outside, it's relatively expensive in Ghana, probably than it is in Nigeria.
I knew we would beat them. Kofi, thank you so much. That was enlightening. All right, we've got more to do. Let's get to it. Now, according to one local official, actually, let me tell you this story from the beginning. Dozens of people, including civilian defense volunteers, were killed in recent attacks by suspected jihadists in Burkina Faso near the Togolese and Ghanaian borders. According to one local official, the attack took place in a village in Bitu on Tuesday, where dozens of volunteer militia and civilians were killed. We can now speak to Nasara Zuradam Parfait, who we will be speaking to in Ouagadougou to learn a bit more about the story when we come back from this very short break. So grab yourself a cup of tea. Let's meet here in a few minutes.